My apologies. For some reason, my stream got interrupted. It actually said there was a server error, so something must have happened to PlayStation servers. So I'm just going to take a quick moment and fix everything. And looking at what I just saw, it looks like, uh, yeah, it looked a little fuzzy on my side, so I'm wondering how it's showing up for everybody else. Yeah, that looks blurrier. Okay, there it goes. It's filtering in. Hey, Joan, how are you, darling? Hope you're having a good weekend. I was just on the stream, and for some reason I got cut off, so I'm just getting everything back up and running as far as the settings go. But yeah, how's your weekend going? Hoping you're having a good time. Hopefully you're somewhere relatively warm. I'm up in the Northeast, so we got a good amount of snow, but it's been pretty cold lately. Alright. Yeah, I'm still getting a kick out of the fact that this still says -1. He definitely needs to be upped. Curious if I start a new... Oh, but they're coming out with the new mods. I'm not even gonna bother toying around with it. I do want to take a quick peek. His color should be all... Alright, completely separate. Appreciate it, Joan. Okay, yep, you are gonna get tweaked. There. Are you the color of the flames? No. Then you are. Yep, I guess it's gonna have to... Oh, I gotta remember, he's under the bright light, so it's gonna make it stick out more. Alright. So let's switch back. Let's get carrier back on. Let's make sure. I think I only have one.
Operator, your chosen warframe suits you. Ha ha.
I thought about making completely black, but red and black has always been my kind of setup. Uh, oh, that's right. One is for shielded, one's for unshielded. So you should be all set, right? You have Guardian, you don't. One's for the Inaros build. Come to think of it, let's make sure Inaros has the proper build as well for a carrier. He does. Sweet. Alright, let me jump back to Duke real quick. So you're talking about giving him a... Oh, well, actually, come to think of it. I do have they did change it up, so I can't have multiple setups for him now. So, Joan, you're saying just make him dark. Just total jet black stealth, just pure, just dark demon looking creature, black. I can give him other looks, the other skins. The degenerate look, I mean, this is basically like any one of the infested. I mean, he looks like Forward, basically, because he has the upside down head sticking out of where his throat should really be. That's just... That looks like a Sarah McLachlan, like, video. Like, you just need to hear her sing, "In the arms of an angel." He looks like a dog that's picked up in the street. He looks plucked. He looks like a slightly hairier version of Homer Simpson's head. The original skin. I do like this one best. It's just the right amount of dog slash infested. Alright, let's dark you up. Oh, accents won't change. Interesting. Although it is changing it. If I switch back and forth, interesting. Unless that's already the color he's... Yep. Alright, so naturally it's that black. That's why it's still showing the checkered. Why does it not look as black? Is there a different black that I have? Oh, that's right. Singularity black. I was going to say, for some reason he looked too gray. Just a demon shadow. Black and white. Let's see here. I technically don't have a white. Although this gray shows up as white. Interesting. Oh, I can't change the appearance of the collar. Yeah, black and white in this game, depending on how it is and what you make white, really does look rather ominous at times. Now, if we slap the armor on...
Strange. Ortis did not see the value of those photonic wavelengths until now.
We'll black him out completely. Well, actually, we'll have the energy be white for it. Now, is it you that... Alright, so... I feel like... that is too much. But that I like. That's the metallic parts on the armor coated in white. So it almost looks diamond or platinum-esque. And I will say this, if we're gonna make him black and white like that, well, it's only fitting. we do a similar thing to Nidus. And let's get rid of you. So this is Nidus. He is the infected Warframe. He does have infestation going through the frame itself. When he builds up his stacks, this will happen to him. He'll open up. He mirrors what the Helmuth Kubro looks like. So I do tend to run them together for the most part. So I want to say his third is, yeah, untouched completely. So, alright, let's do it up. We will black him out first.
Tenno, there's a time limit alert available. Check navigation.
Oh, wrong button. Getting ahead of myself. Alright, so night is completely blacked out. Let's see which areas would look good. Oh crap, that's not what I wanted to do. No, I don't think you're the purest white in this palette. I just want to confirm that. Oh yeah, you're definitely whiter than white now. Alright, so let's go back and let's add you back to our favorites. Alright. I think it's best that his energy be white as well, so everything will kind of stick out. So he is somewhat going to match our Kubro. Everything that sticks out, the tentacles, all that's going to be white as well. Only when they come out. His animation. Yep, no, that's going to be the best stance for him. Let's see here. Let's color all that the same. Let's give him some armor. That looks a bit bulky on his ass. That actually looks a little better. Although the spikes are... Tell you what, we're gonna do the Targus Prime for his arms. But we're gonna put the claws, the spikes on his legs from the Rivelite. I don't know if he needs something on his chest or not, but actually that looks pretty good. Alright, so we'll keep that on. I wish you could take the pumpkin head and actually change its colors as well. This is something that was given from Halloween with the lights that are over him right now. Like, I'll select it and come out of that bright light right now. And because his energy is white, the face is the same way. So it's so bright coming out, you can't even see like the eyes and the smile and whatnot. But it's one of the things that came out for Halloween. I've actually had this since last year. It's just another fun addition. There is rabbit ears that only comes out during Easter, and you can only have them for Easter. It's free for everybody. But all right, let's. Nope. Masters on the bottom. Let's take that off. He does have two heads, so let's keep that in mind. This one just kind of opens up. I do like the other head better for what we're doing right now. To me, this is as beefy as it should be. Only one thing missing. Well, actually, let's get this thrown on now. And we're actually going to fade this out so it can't be seen. We'll shrink it down. What I just put on, basically, for the syndicate that I'm in, having that badge on, earns me 15% extra standing with them. This gives us a better look at him up close, by the way. So you can see, like, the pads are basically shaped to be like a skull. And same thing with the chest piece. But I think this is actually looking pretty sharp. The only other thing that's quote-unquote possible, and we'll have it copy the colors as well, is some type of cyan or in other words, a cape, something that's going to go on his back. And let me redo this so I can just hit the preview. There really isn't one that's too much. Now I can change how white that is. I mean, this does look pretty good on him, actually. Normally the one I have, and this is more so because this matches his texture. The Voltura. I don't think I have that one. Let me see what that looks like. You're saying the Voltura, is that... Oh, the Boltor. Gotcha. That is the weapon that's come out now for Fortuna. Again, I'm on PS4, so unfortunately I don't have access to the Boltora yet. With any luck, by the end of the month, Fortuna will be out for console. If not, it will be December for sure. Last dev stream, they had made mention that it hasn't even gone out to cert just yet. So, fingers crossed. Usually when it comes out on PC, it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops before it goes out to cert. That matches the texture of his skin, but for some reason, this looks good on him. I just want to change how white that stream is. That's too much. So let's do that. There we go. That's looking alright. I mean, as far as weapons go for him, of what I have and use, the Phage or the Phantasma would be best bets. What sucks is I've had this weapon for so long, I don't even... It's no forma in it. Oh no, I'm sorry, there is one forma in it. But it still needs more love. Primed point blank is not in it. But for the time being... And you know what? Just because this is actually looking pretty good, let's do this. Let's buy a new loadout slot. You will be the new random. You... Alright. Joan, since this was your idea, I'm gonna need a name for the loadout slot here. At the most, I've had about 9,000 platinum. I've gone through platinum pretty good in the game. A lot of it getting it from trade and whatnot, but also a couple of the prime packs that have come out. Demon said it is. Uh, let's put a little twist on that. No. Better yet. Ah! Joan, you read my mind. The Demon King it is. Alright, so he will have you. You will get the pox. And you know what? I haven't even put any. I haven't even leveled you up yet. Bought you, and you've been just sitting there. You will get the Pulpicist. I'm digging it. Before I do anything, if we're gonna have this going about, we're gonna have to get you in. Can't link shields because you don't have any shields. Oh, you're gonna need a lot. I'm not gonna worry about that. He's gonna need some forma. Oh, it will. Well, I'll save this for when I actually have the time to go through and do the forma. So that's been on the list. I'm gonna have to start creating more forma. Crap. That's right, I forgot I have you on Venari. Well, his health is up there, that's for damn sure. That should balance that part out. So for the time being, not too bad. Getting the hunter mods on him wouldn't be a horrible idea, but he needs to be formatted a couple of times. Oh, having that crit chance would be huge. That's right. 3 are on him, 3 are 2 are on the Warframe, 1's on primary weapon. Alright, well, the Demon King has been made. Well, my Zaw would definitely be that weapon. My Zaw, it's overpowered. They've made mention of it because I've sent a clip to DE. Danielle has mentioned it in one of her streams about my Zaw, and some people had hit me up in the past about it. This thing's an end gamer type of weapon. I have a specific build for it along with a Naros that I usually dive pretty deep into survivals just to farm relics. And actually, you know what? I should probably do it tonight. Get a focus farm in, because I haven't done that in some bit, and I need my Vazarin to be topped out. So let's switch that up. As much as I would like to break him out right now, you know what? We're still going to run a mission with Nidus just the same. Let's get something fun out of the way. Let's see here. We have an infested outbreak. All kinds of crazy shit going on, Cirrus. Let's see here. Defense. Exterminate. Let's do this exterminate. We'll run this 3 times with Nidus so we can get the field drone, and then we're going to go to Zabala with a Naros and dig pretty deep, show you what this Zaw is capable of.
The infestation has corrupted life here. Let's clear it out.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Let's get our energy up. Well, technically, when I think of the Demon King, Necros kind of comes to mind because he's bringing everyone back from the dead. But
I'm still detecting a
the
lot of
way
infestation activity. Let's clean it up.
Nidus is looking right now. Nidus the Demon Knight. Come on, Duke. Taking your sweet freaking time. Let's build up those stacks. I think when I get to like 10 stacks, he will show his mutation. The downside, and what I can't wait for with the new Fortuna update, Helmuth, and well, basically just in general, Kubro abilities where you need to build up some more stacks. Kind of like Vacuum for the Sentinels. It will help you pick stuff up instead. Alright. So Nidus has been infected. The infestation has popped up. He is opened up.
That was a juggernaut. They're lured out by the death of infested.
It was a juggernaut.
Should
Let's
go
bring him
away
out.
Or amp up the fight to draw it out.
Oh. Let's go, Juggernaut. Come on, show me your belly.
The juggernaut. I think you made it angry. Good work.
Oh, did you link to the Juggernaut? Okay, good, it broke. Wow, this thing is scratching it at best. Perfect opportunity to see his belly. Come on. Give me that belly again. There it is. This Faj needs a good amount of work. Good question. Retarded stepbrother? Red-headed stepchild. Oh, stupid conveyor belt. Oh, that's why. You guys are glitching right through the floor. need to break this cord. There we go. Oh, let's not forget the pox here. Let's just smoke it up, shall we? Yeah, go ahead, run through it. Why are you having no effect on him? Interesting. They're poisoning everyone else. Hey, same thing's happened to me. Once you're alert enough and you're that awake, there's no going to sleep. Alright, why is there a Nox having trouble? Alright, now you're telling me there's more people behind me. You keep telling me to go in front. Where are you guys spawning from? Alright, so now again, you told me to come outside. Oh, I know why. This is the, that's extraction. The spawn rate was thrown off. So it'll keep spawning them in these areas just so I can... Yep, no. I know if I go out there, I'm going to have to deal with the same thing. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Alright. Let's go back towards it now. Just need a small handful. Come on. Spawn in 5 more. You're going to have me come back out here. I just noticed there's... Ah, damn. Got excited for a second, saw a breakable out there.
The enemy is
There we go.
well done. Now get to extraction.
Oh, that was a bad bullet. Now we can extract. As far as truly overpowered frames that I have built, I would say Titania, Mesa, Anaros, Octavia. Though I already said Octavia. Yeah, Mesa, Octavia. No, Titania, Mesa, Octavia, Anaros. Those are more of my end gamers. And seeing that I need to do a focus farm real quick, we're gonna jump into Anaros, and I'll give you a quick peek at what I have set up for him as far as his build. And I use this just for focus farming, so let me get rid of that and put the Grim back in. And I have a build specifically just for Zabala that I use for him. Enemy radar, so I always know where everybody is. Rush in the Exilus slot. Primed flow, just so I have energy, but I'm not too worried about it because Rage and Hunter Adrenaline keeps so much energy going, I never really have to worry about it. The Gladiator mods, just for the bump and critical chance that stacks with the combo multiplier. So every time I get that multiplier, when it's at 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, every time that goes up, that 60% stacks on top of itself. So it's 60%. Then it's 120. And then on top of that, then it's 240. It stacks over and over again. that will coincide with Blood Rush. So it's really 225, and then 450, and then 900, then 1800, then 3600. And that's 3600% critical chance it's going to be bumping up just for my melee weapon. So this is basically, as long as it's nothing with heavy armor, it's an end gamer for sure.
Ordis is angry.
We're going to switch our discipline to Narumon for the main reason of affinity spike. I'm going to get an extra 45% affinity for all my melee kills, so that's going to help with our focus farm. Don't have to worry about Zenuric because Rage and Hunter Adrenaline is going to give me all the energy I need. So we're going to go to Zabala. I usually crank out an hour here, and once I'm around a 30-minute mark, I'm getting usually around 10,000 focus points. My main concern is making sure that I get force a habit of ripping all that apart. Let's build up our Scarab armor. That's our 4th ability we just popped and held down. Now I do have Meta Ray on Brain Fart, my Carrier Prime, so he will start healing me. Aside from that, I will jump out of my frame because he will heal on his own.
A steady stream of toxic spores is being released into the area. Hold on. Emergency life support is inbound. The first life support capsule has arrived. Activate it when your supply is low.
Is this what I think it is? I got my favorite room right off the get-go. This is the best room on this tile set to stay in and solo farm for affinity, specifically for focus. It's large. Everything as far as enemy radar will pick everyone up. And you can keep just moving, and they'll keep spawning right in the room itself for the most part. Pretty soon, all these crits are going to be pure just red. That's not going to change. And I'm glad this is the next room over. Once the ancients start spawning in, this is going to be much higher. But these are all lower level enemies right now. There, let's see. Yeah, 35. That's nothing. But I'll be, by the time those harder levels come on, I'm going to be one-shotting all the enemies anyways. Alright, Joan. Have yourself a good night. Always a pleasure having you in here. I'm sure we'll catch you again soon. Rest well. Enjoy class tomorrow. I'm going to avoid that focus bubble for a second, just so I can get more enemies to pile in. Now I just need them to keep coming in.
Tenno, prepare for life support.
anytime I hit one of the boilers, let those other enemies spawn. It'll help get your combo multiplier going up if you have affinity. Your affinity focus bubble going. It will give you more people to hit. So what we're looking to do is hit our daily cap for focus, which is 300,000.
Life support incoming.
Alright, our ancients have started coming in now. Other great thing about this room, there's usually 3, sometimes 4 life supports in here that are going to be of paramount use at some point. Alright, I need you guys to start following me a little bit.
When you are ready, go to extraction.
Really? You're gonna hook me and waste my time?
Off to a successful start.
Now I'm hoping I should be getting, with these ancients, I'm hoping to get around 4,000. Just under.
Life support on the way.
B, are you still hiding in here as well, darling?
Additional life support has arrived.
Had a feeling you were. Let's see here. Oh, here comes a nice little chunk of people. Alright, these should pop. These are gonna pop. There we go, 6,000 now.
Prepare for
How's the
life support.
stream looking, B? Is it holding steady, or is it looking odd from last night? Because I think that something's going on with the Sony servers again.
Another life support capsule is now available.
What quality are you running right now? This should be coming in at least at 720 by 60 right now. I actually ordered some equipment so I can start broadcasting this in full 1080.
Life support on the way. I've delivered another life support capsule.
Come on. It's all that goofy shit like that that's gonna slow me down, slow down the farming for the focus. Yeah. Too many of those little goofy hiccups of the ancients getting me.
The longer you fight,
240.
the more successful we will be.
Oh, wow. Alright, so I think that's more of just your internet, unfortunately. Hate to say it.
Get ready for a capsule.
Go ahead, you can hit me with it. It's only gonna be replenished really quickly. Just need to let them hit me once. There you go. Give me that poison. Let my energy skyrocket up.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Wow, really? You're putting it that far away? Come on. There it is again, where it's like they hit me at that last possible moment. And it says, Ember Breezy, watching 720 looks good to me. Alright, Ember, appreciate it. You're also my favorite Warframe.
Life support in.
Ember has been my go-to. Some people would say I main it, but I am a heavy favorite of Ember. She fits my game style. She fits my... Everything about her is just perfect for me, for almost any situation other than certain specialty ones. Welcome, by the way, Ember. We are currently in the middle of a focus farm. I am going to try and get my daily cap right here for Vazarin. I have greater Eidolon lenses on both my Zaw and Anaros. I am running Naramon, so I am getting that additional 45% affinity. So with any luck, I wouldn't have to be in here for longer than probably an hour. And of course I get hooked. Oh, we got 7,000 for that one. We're getting there. Deeper we go, the harder they get. More affinity I'm going to be sucking out of them. Yeah, Wi-Fi isn't very good. Let me see here. 720s is buffering. Gotcha. I think they say you need to have a minimum of stable 15 megabytes to stream anything considered HD, which is 720 actually by actual standards of high definition. Oh, you guys are spawning weird. Keep them coming, keep them coming. Of course you're gonna hook me. Jeez. It's like always that last second, right when I'm about to wipe out a good number of ancients. Does that happen? A Neo 8-2, not bad, not bad. I do plan on doing at least a 2-hour run through Mott using Octavia for the new relics that came out. Nova and Mag are out of the Prime Vault, as well as their weapons, as well as a brand new primed weapon, the Akvasto Prime. So that is definitely going to be a future grind. There's our focus bubble. Of course. Sure, by all means, fire away. I know some of the conditions for the ribbons are confusing at best until you get used to them. Even I was misled by one today. I unlocked a melee ribbon earlier in the stream before it actually cut out, and I had to use a bow to shoot 5 Dargans out of the air in the plains, which is perfectly fine, but it didn't say I had to shoot them out of the air. It just said I had to hit them. Normally it words is specifically saying that, so I figured, alright. So I ended up wasting a couple of Dargans that could have been airborne. Ate up a little bit of time, but worse things could happen. But by all means, fire away, Ember. Stop spawning those maggots. They're taking up spawning of higher tier enemies. $8,000. There we go. By the time we hit 2025, I'll be able to get at least 10,000, hopefully. like getting stuck like that. I went by you and you hooked me? That's going to take me 1 second to read, Ember. I'm going to wait for the end of this focus bubble so I can give you proper focus there. This is not going to be a high yielding focus. Nope. Not enough ancients. That's the second time the game kind of, I wouldn't say glitch, but just kind of lagged for a brief moment. And that keeps happening right when it's bringing out the relics. Yeah, a rifle ribbon that requires me to maintain 3 times melee combo for a certain period of time. I can't remember how long or where. Okay, so a 3 times melee combo. Basically, this is what I'm doing right now is your best chance at doing that. Right now I have a 4 times melee combo. So basically you need to find any type of a board. Survival is the best because of the non-stop spawning of enemies. You want to get up to a 3 times combo multiplier, meaning, I guess I have to break it down from the basics. The combo multiplier is stringing together hits. Any melee weapon innately has a 3-second combo duration, which means from hitting one enemy, you have 3 seconds to hit another enemy to keep that combo duration, that combo multiplier going. So you want to put a mod on like Drifting Contact that adds combo duration. Drifting Contact will give you an extra 10 seconds, so you'll have 13 seconds in between hits. There's Body Count that will add, I believe, 12 seconds. So you'll have a 15-second gap in between hits that you can get away with. And basically, you just want to keep hitting enemies like I'm doing right now. Like I've hit 1,413 strikes so far without breaking the combo. I have it set with Drifting Contact, so I can go 13 seconds in between hits of enemies. So I can keep the damage going. That combo multiplier increases your critical damage output, and with the right mods, it'll increase your critical chance as well. Blood Rush and the Gladiator mods will stack critical chance with every combo stack. So when you're at, every time you go up a half a multiplier. So when you're at 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, that's the critical multiplier going up. So in other words, you just need to do what I'm doing right now. Maintain the hits, and then once you're at 3 times multiplier, you need to keep that multiplier going and held steady for, it's usually 30 seconds. I think that's what you said as well. But normally it's 30 seconds, and then you'll complete the requirements to unlock the ribbon. Hopefully that explains it all. I am trying to focus on that while maintaining my own combo multiplier, but usually that's how the ribbon goes. You just need to get your melee weapon out. Make sure you have something comparable to last as long as I'm doing right now. Well, not as long, because I've gone a little further than would be required, but you just want to build up to a 3 times multiplier and then just hold it for 30 seconds. It's basically testing your ability to melee control a map. Damn. Of course there'd be one closer, and of course I would get hooked. That hook and that double boiler definitely threw me off.
We will all share in this bounty. Hold out as long as you can.
Nope. Nope. Ember, did that make sense to you? Everything I just blurted out there? If you're on PS4, I have no problem having you jump in the party with me if you like, so I can better conversate it out with you, or even bring you somewhere where you could accomplish that a little easier. There we go. Nice little 8,000 hit. Well, that's not a problem, Ember. My PS4 handle is the same as my channel here. The V1i7 P2E3R. Basically, think of Viper with 17 and 23 in between each letters. By all means, you're more than welcome to send me a friend request here on PS4. Whenever you get a chance to, just hit me up next time you're playing. I work from home. So being able to jump on, I can get on whenever I really want to. So whenever you're on is more than likely a perfectly fine time with me. I got no problem helping anyone out, going over builds, anything you might need or want or need explained, or not sure how far into the game you are, but if you need a taxi somewhere to get to somewhere further into the game, by all means let me know. 8,700, nice. Hoping to start scratching 10,000s and I can get my daily focus cap out of the way.
Look what our Tenno operative just found.
Should be able
Could not do
to
this without you.
also unbind one of the Vazarin abilities. I want to be able to get them all done. For those that don't know, your skill tree for your operator, each one of the 5 disciplines has 2 abilities you can unbind, and you can use those abilities with other focus branches. So you could use 2, like what I plan on doing is using the Vazarin unbindable abilities and using them under Zenuric. I already have the Narrowmon open up for Zenuric, so my operator moves fast and his Void Dash is way faster. Vazarin is, I believe, operator health and armor, or health and regeneration. Health as in total amount of health, and then the ability to regenerate some vitality. Oh, 7,000, not too bad, not too bad. I want to say it's 2,400 hits that I'll open up the next tier, and I'll be at 4 times 4. That'll increase all my critical chance. That'll greatly increase my critical damage, my multiplier. And I'll be able to continue on deeper into it. All the enemies right now, let's see, they're only level 69, give or take. But we're still just one-shotting the shit out of everybody. Oh, that sounds like there's people above me. And of course the hook. That's gonna slow me down. Where are my ancients? Well, at least the Xmases are starting to come out. As always, everybody, if you enjoyed any part of this stream whatsoever, whether it's me doing good, me doing bad, me getting shot in the face, or me getting eaten alive, if you enjoy it, hit that like button for me, hit subscribe. I am going to be broadcasting regularly again as we're rebuilding the channel from the ground up again. I think I got enough of them to come close enough to me. Let's see here. 9,200. We're getting there. I'm wondering if the last update they changed the scaling, because yeah, a little bit. Oh, well, hello, Juggernaut. The Juggernaut instantly comes out when you're this far into Zabala. And all I need him to do is just show me that belly. There it is. Just under 10,000. Come on. Don't just stand there. Come over here and die like everybody else. Oh. I guess I was the one running away that time. The great thing about this is you really don't have to worry too much about the life support, because enough people are spawning in and you should be killing them fast enough where you're constantly getting enough life support dropping off of the enemies. Really around the corner like that now. Good number of ancients so far. If they can keep up. But I unfortunately got hit with, yep, a whole bunch of maggots coming out of the brood mothers. And then everyone getting stuck on and around those stairs. Yeah, you can harpoon me all you want. There. Have a little dust in your face. Let's do that. Let's pop out your offspring. Of course you're going to be above me. So we're just going to backtrack for a second. And of course I'm going to get knocked down. And another knockdown. The timing of some of these enemies is incredible. But it makes the game more challenging. Can't complain.
We will all share this bounty.
Do you think
Hold
there's a
out as
chance
long
that
as
there
you
would
can.
be a craftable primaries? I'm hoping. The fact they introduced craftable secondaries is great. Having a craftable primary would be fantastic. And of course, double hooked. But yeah, no, craftable primaries. I'm sure that's going to come out at some point. I would venture a guess, seeing the time in between having the Zaws come out with Hawk at Cetus to where we are now with Fortuna and being able to craft secondaries. I would imagine within a year or so that would be released to us. It's the tediousness of going through the combinations and making sure there isn't something too overpowered. But at the same token, my mind goes to, I mean, my Zaw right now, to me, that I'm using is relatively overpowered. Which is why there's boards like this and conditionals that keeps enemies scaling up. You can only go so far in a defense, you can only go so far in a survival. Now granted, there are warframes that are ridiculous. Now I can go, the longest I've gone so far is 6 hours at Mott in the Void. And the reason why I was able to go that far is simply because there's one warframe that is beyond broken, and that's Octavia. Octavia's first ability cannot be stopped, it cannot be slowed down, and it cannot be cancelled out. And its entire property is based off of whatever damage is being done to it or being inflicted or directed towards it. It's immediately being given right back to the enemies that are within that area. So you have an ability, the only ability, that scales right along with the enemies that comes in. So if you are able to, basically you just have to run Octavia's first and fourth ability together. You want to get the mallet out and you want to get the fourth ability out. The fourth ability will double the range and destructive powers of Octavia's first ability. Sorry about that noise in the background. My cousins are texting me up a storm right now. It'll double the range and the damage of the first ability. Use your third ability to crouch and spam that so you can keep yourself invisible, so you don't have to worry about being seen, and that's all you're doing, is just basically letting that run itself. It's incredibly boring because there's no action behind it or anything going on, but it's incredibly useful for farming relics. Everything is being put into Mott right now, as far as all the new relics that came out, the unvaulted relics that are coming back out, and the warframes. So you kind of have to grin and bear it and go through that boring setup, and I'm losing track of the fact that I have a focus bubble right now. But yeah, so to me scaling is relative, so I really don't think they should put too much overthought into making craftable primaries. Give us variations of the weapons that already exist. and let us put them together in a way that suits our playstyle. The same way they did the Zaws, the same way they did the amps for our operators, and we're good to go. Because the game is just going to scale anyways as the enemies go. Sure, for regular missions and whatnot, it's, you know, regular missions are going to be a breeze. But that's why there's sorties, that's why there's the Sanctuary Onslaught, survivals like this. There's plenty of ways to really test your mettle and push you to the point where you're going to hit a wall where you can't succeed. And that is an over-explanation of the very simple question you asked, Ember. Nope, someone knocked me down. Alright, we're finally getting over 10,000 at least. At the 46-minute mark. Normally it's around 25 to 30 that I'm able to do that. So that just goes to show that with the last update for Chimera, they definitely changed how they have everything scaling. "46 minutes. Hoping by the 1 hour mark, I'll get the heads up that I have reached my standing for the day. And that'll reset tomorrow night at 8. Focus bubble. And of course you're gonna waste my time. And of course you're also gonna waste my time. Always gonna get harpooned the second that focus bubble. It's like the game's like, alright, focus bubble, he knows. Now that time that was definitely my fault. But another way that they make the game, oh, you're a parasitic, that's why you took multiples. But look how many times I've gotten hooked just in the last few seconds here, as opposed to normally. If I hit 7,000, I'll be amazed. Wow. 8,900, I am beyond shocked I even got that high. Which means if I didn't get hooked, that would have been my 12,000 point mark. I need to pay more attention to what enemies are where. I am not a fan of how they change the mechanics of how I move when I'm swiping. Normally, based on my sprint, is what a lot of the melee speed is going to be as far as progressing forward. But they have since changed that. And for some reason, something is taking away a good chunk of my life. You bastard. Yep, they definitely changed the scaling. I like it though. I want more of a challenge. for just a melee weapon that I can just keep whacking away. Or what I like to call the Call of Duty style of playing this game. That's why I'm not a massive fan of Excalibur Umbra. I like him. I'm less of a fan of how people use him, I guess. Passive ability of a Naros that isn't always noticed by most people. When you oh wow, didn't even... When you complete a finisher, you gain 20% of your life back immediately. Your total life of what it would be. Look at that, it's just really back-to-back hooks. Gotta love it. Oh, they redid the Riven dispositions. I gotta check and see what happened to my Riven mod I have on my Zal here, if anything changed or not. I'm wondering if that's why. The numbers look right though. So I think that's just more in my head than anything else. 11,000. $13, that's what I'm talking about. Granted, I'm still getting these hilarious little pokes and hits. I wish I had a longer... Tell you what, let's set it up so I can do it. Nope. Moved it. Nope. It's gonna take too long. I don't want to lose my combo multiplier. It's on it. Come on. Speed up, speed up, speed up. Not that far away from it. I'm probably another 4 or 5 focus bubbles away from capping out for the day. Yep, too many knockdowns.
The longer
Could have been
we fight,
higher.
the more successful we will be.
Brood Mutter to me is the biggest pain in the ass. Those maggots take up the place of spawn for higher tier enemies that could really be bumping things up for me. Wow, that's a jump. That just said 128. 117. We were just in the 70s not all that long ago. Come on. Life support still holding. Appreciate everyone that's staying in here watching the slaughter with the Naros here, my focus farm for the day. If you haven't already, by all means, a much appreciated like and follow would be very kind and generous, trying to rebuild the station back to its former glory. I unfortunately, long story short, for some reason I couldn't get into my account. By the time I was able to get back in, talking to YouTube support and whatnot, all 300 and change videos that I have made were gone, as well as every subscriber I had. And unfortunately, my name is complicated on here, so it's not easily remembered. So we're slowly rebuilding. So any love and support would be more than greatly appreciated. The love will definitely come back to you. Of course. Could have gotten one more in. DE, I tip my hat to you. Look at that. These instant harpoons. And it looks like they've actually... I'm wondering... No, they didn't change anything for that mechanics. I was almost wondering if they changed the blockability. Normally, when you're in the middle of a swing, those harpoons get swatted away. I feel like that has changed. Come on, focus bubble. I know you're
Original
close.
operative just found. They could not do this without you.
There you are. And I will give that low level a whack. Get that combo going. Oh, really? Right in the middle of the combo. Now that's a first. Why are you... Crap. Didn't want to lose my multiplier, but wanted to keep you guys going. At least you're giving me the focus bubbles a little more often. Maybe that's the trade-off. More focus bubbles with the ability to control just how much focus you're really getting. Time to rebuild our life. Already got another focus bubble coming out. Oh yeah. Alright. Everyone, Simon says freeze. Simon now says die. The Viper isn't a horrible secondary. The Viper, the Twin Viper is going to be better for obvious reasons. You'll have two of them. Twin Viper Wraith, even better. As far as a secondary to keep as like a main thing to use, the Vipers are going to be inched out, in my opinion. Well, I can't even say inched out. The Ox Stiletto and, well, the Ox Stiletto Prime and the Ox Samadhi, those are going to be, as far as automatic weapons go, like Uzi secondaries, those are going to be your best bets for sure. The amount of firepower they have, the critical chance, as well as the amount of rounds they're going to carry. Those are... Do I already have another focus bubble? Wow, these focus bubbles are popping up fast now. Yeah, I mean, they're still a good weapon. They were one of my favorites for the longest time, but that got overtaken by the Ox Stiletto, then the Ox Stiletto Prime. And then the Oxamati.
All share in this
I mean,
bounty.
it's such a
Hold out
great
as long as
weapon.
you can.
The one thing I do think the Vipers have over the Oxamati, the Oxtaletto, less recoil. So they're going to be a little more accurate for you, but they're going to be a little more accurate with a little less damage. So it's kind of that trade-off that you kind of have to like scale of what you're trying to do and trying to accomplish. I feel like I'm about to get another focus bubble. The last 3 came out within almost a 4-minute mark. Yeah, there it is. These are coming out very close. Not complaining. Oh, I am noticing that my life support's the lowest it's been since I've been in here, though. Yeah, had a feeling. Oh. And someone is draining my energy. So there's parasitic. Oh, at this point, the parasitics are all around me. Level 150 parasitic Eximus. Yep, gonna get that one to the face. Oh, come on, don't jump.
That was a close one.
The other reason why I like this room, I got 3 life support towers that will keep replenishing in here for me. Just waiting to be used. Curious to see. How much more I have to go to top off my focus. Come on, get the little rail out of the way. No. The focus bubbles are not coming as often as they just were for the last 4 of them. If I make it to 70 minutes and I don't have a focus bubble that pops out again, I will be backing out. That'll mean that I hit my daily cap for the day. And mission accomplished. Oh, it's funny, you sent that and I didn't even notice the second part of that, considering my name is Viper. That is actually, the second I found out there was a weapon called the Viper, I got it specifically because of my name. I had to. And then when I found out there was a Wraith version of it, I got even more excited. And I believe, I want to say I still have the Twin Viper Wraith in my inventory. And I think for no other reason than just the fact of it shares my name. Alright, stop jumping. There you go. Use your ability. And we are just about to hit 70 minutes.
share in this bounty.
And I am
Hold
not
on as
getting
long as you can.
another focus bubble. So we will be pulling out 5,290 hits. Do 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 do. Oh, really? Stuck behind that little rail. So that was a fairly decent run. Took a little bit longer than I thought. Got a good number of mods and whatnot. We'll take a peek at all the other bonuses I got once we get back, because I know this is going to stop it. You used to be able to, in the middle of this screen, have your... Now it just moves the ship. You could still move the item rewards and mod rewards to see what you've gotten. So let's see here. Extra credits. Neo A2, actually K4, 2,000 credits times 3. Good number of relics. Wow, only 2 Oberon Neuroptics. Usually you get way more than that, and then your usual nonsense of resources. Good number of relics, though. Or mods. None of those relics are going to be the new ones. Those only drop in the Void or in the Cetus bounties. So let's go to our operator. We should be hopefully over 1 million for Vazarin, and we are. Alright, so this is what I was mentioning. These way-bound abilities, you're able to unbind them from their school so you can use them in other disciplines. So if I were to make Xeneric my primary like it normally is, I can use Mind Step and Mind Sprint that are from the Naromon discipline. They've been unbound. So now at this point I'm doing the same thing with Vazarin. Now I won't be able to unbind this because I'm going to need more than what I have. But we're going to upgrade this to the best that we can.
Everything in orders, operator?
So tomorrow I will be able to unbind this.
Bypass this vault.
I'm going to need another, let's see, 707,000. I'm going to need another, 292,400 and change standing, which is fine because my daily cap is 350,000. So I'll be able to unbind that tomorrow. It's going to cost me 1 million Vazarin focus and 1 brilliant Eidolon shard, which is perfectly doable. And then that's going to increase my operator's health that I'll be able to have on my other ability. And then this is regeneration for your operator. Let's see here. We are going to keep that. Naromon increases speed, both of his movement and his Void Dash. Madurai, you'll be able to increase the energy for the amps, and Void Beam if you don't have an amp. It's all one and the same. And then increased energy regeneration for them. So that's that specific pool as opposed to going invisible and void dashing. And then for here, is it Void Shadow? No. This is your operator's armor. You'll be able to unbind this so you can have it for all your classes. And then this will be the Void Blast radius when you do Circle as your operator. Or as a lot of people like to call the Hadouken or the Kamehameha that he does. Alright, so we're back to Xeneric. Oh, and for Xeneric, it's Void Siphon and Void Flow. that you can unbind, but there's no sense in me doing that here because this is the main discipline I use because of energy pulse and energy dash. This will always be my primary. The only time I switch is to Naramon when I do the focus farming. It's not that switched up. I'm actually curious if I still have the Twin Viper Wraith or not. I do. They're not a horrible weapon. There's just, unfortunately, for my opinion, better weapons. I don't even think... Did I even put a potato in this?
Operator,
No.
please return. Covered in blood.
I got this at such a young phase of playing this game that there's not an Orokin Catalyst in it. These are the mods that are in here, and the only thing I can assume is Hornet Strike got taken out because I've upgraded it. You know, I can pop that out at least and pop in Hornet Strike, so now it at least makes more sense. But the base stats for this weapon, if I were just to do this so we can get everything cleaned up, status is 9%, critical chance is 19. The fire rate of it is the only thing that's good about it. Starting at 25, that's a relatively fast rate of fire. Faster than most other weapons, I would assume, but I would dare say that the Oxamati, yeah, a little bit slower at 20.91. Fire rate's higher on the secondary build that I'm working on it. Higher for critical. Off the bat, at least, it's higher for critical. What's making this work is hydraulic crosshairs and sharpened bullets. Anytime I kill somebody, as long as I'm aiming, I'll get an extra 75% critical damage. With hydraulic crosshairs, also while aiming and for 9 seconds, anytime I hit anybody in the head, not a kill, but just in the head, an extra 135% critical chance. So basically, when I'm using the Oxamati, I'm holding down L2, and I'm aiming for sure to get that extra bump in damage. Aside from that, obviously barrel diffusion for the multi-shot. Hollow point for higher critical damage. It lowers base damage, but that's not a big loss. Pistol Gambit and Target Cracker for critical damage and critical chance. And then the Riven that I got for it. Actually, I only rolled this once, and to me it was good enough. I mean, I could do without the punch through. I would rather have damage, whether it's regular damage or critical, or even some kind of elemental. But with the punch through, if there's enemies lining up, I'm hitting everybody. But the fire rate on it, I really can't go wrong with it. Obviously Hornet Strike for base damage and whatnot, but these hold up fairly well, as well as the Oxtaletto Prime. I couldn't be any happier with it. Now, granted, fire rate is a little bit lower, but you're trading that off for a high amount of damage. I put viral on these because that was basically what I was going through. I don't have a Riven for it. And I think this was a secondary build that I was trying to go through to see if I could build something off of a critical round, but it's not really a critical weapon, it's more status based, because you're starting off with 30% status, so you gotta build it off of status. You could do a hybrid build of it, but you're gonna sacrifice elemental for it, and I'd rather not do that. I'd rather keep it kind of the way it is. The only thing I could do is pop another Forma in here, or pop a Forma. Wow, I've never Forma'd the Oxtaletto before. Interesting. And I mean, technically I could get concussion rounds out of here because adding impact is not anything huge. Probably get, I could put actually prime heated charge in there for extra heat. Or just heat in general. Viral and heat together. So many combinations of stuff you can do. But my main secondary at this point is the Oxamati. Let's see. Let's switch it up and go to Ember. I want to say there were some invasions against the infested that popped up. Oh yeah, tons of them. I actually started one and haven't finished it off yet. Hopefully it's not anything. Let's see, we got defense. You should be assassination that I already did. Hang on a second. I didn't see that on the... Oh, there it is. Let's see here. Exterminate, that's going to be fairly quick. Breeze and go right through the part. Ember, how long have you been playing Warframe? I just realized I remembered that.
I'm detecting infested biosignatures all over the place. You know what to do.
I forgot that my cousin had texted me earlier and never messaged her back. Alright, let's just push right in. Yeah, light Ember on fire.
I'm still detecting a lot of infestation activity. Let's clean it up.
And we got growing power going. Oh, hi. So now this is literally just Ember burning the whole fucking board. I hate that they make those cell arrays white and gold and blue like that. It looks like it's a damn Ayatan sculpture. Gets me every time. Kind of the same thing for me. I played it for a little bit when it first came out, and for some reason I just didn't care for it. And I don't even have a definitive reason as to why. It just didn't. I think mainly because I didn't really grab the full scale and concept of what this game was. I didn't realize its potential. And then, right when the planes came out, I jumped back in for a good amount. And I was learning everything on my own. And then, a friend of mine that I play Ghost Recon Wildlands, her and I do the 4v4, or have done it. She's actually my clan leader now. She has, I want to say, close to 6,000 hours in this game now. Hasn't gone higher than Mastery Rank 15 because she has everything she wants and needs in the game. I mean, she has basically every weapon. Every weapon is fully modded out. She has a Panthera that will rip apart any of the drop ships that come out, because of the crit and slash damage she has built up for it with the Riven. But once I started playing with her is when the game really opened up for me. Um, and I went from being mastery rank 5 to 16 in the matter of, jeez, a couple of weeks. Because I was just playing constantly and pushing myself. And then beyond that, I was... Really, my World on Fire just got turned off? I kind of the same thing she did. I just kind of stayed at like 16, I think. And then I ended up playing much higher to where I am now, because I was just like, I just want to keep pushing. The drive to keep playing just kept growing for me. And now I'm at the point where it's like, mastery rank 22, and I find myself thinking, I literally just need to get everything in the game for fodder just to go up mastery rank. And it's like, I don't feel like doing that right now. My mind goes, everything I need to build that's going to come out of the dojo is going to be spending forma into it just to make it. And I'd rather spend that forma into the weapons that I have and everything that I like to make them as strong as possible, so that I can play the game further, harder, and longer. I don't know why I backed out like that, because I should be able to. Yep. Hopefully you stay, Exterminate. Is it safe to assume that you enjoy Ember as far as the game goes, or is that just a happy coincidence? I used to have a bottle of water. Oh, there you are. Alright, let's just drop an energy pad real quick. I do like the new art they put in for the energy pad. I haven't seen what the other ones look like yet. I think after I complete this invasion, I'm going to... just a happy coincidence for now. Haven't gotten to player yet. Gotcha. Curious what mastery rank you are, if you even know off the top of your head. Curious to know your experience with the game. Because my basic goal as far as what I'm doing with streaming and playing with as many people as I can, it's my way of repaying or paying it forward everything that my clan leader did for me. Like, she never like, I couldn't tell you how many mods and relics and boosters and all that stuff she has given me just so I can succeed and play this game. And all she ever asked for was just a vitality mod or ammo case or something like that, just so the trade could be done. And all she ever said to me was, when you get the chance, just pay it forward. And I'm like, alright, I'm gonna pay it forward. So I want to pass on my knowledge, skills, and all the fun extras that I've collected in my time here. And Mastery rank 8. So you're still in the fairly early stages of the game. Now you're able to get Riven mods, so I know you've at least completed the War Within. Is this something that you recently did, completing the War Within? And also, do you have a favorite Warframe or a Warframe you're aiming to get? Because I have no trouble helping you grind for any of the warframes that are there. Is this spawning? This is the second time now that... I think this is my only complaint from the last update, is these exterminate. Now it's going to turn my world on fire off because I'm going over where the extraction point is supposed to be. But the spawn rate of the enemies, I'm still shy 45. Enough to trigger growing power at least. Oh, that's right, you're going to be above me. I do tend to be more of a speed player, so when something like this pops up that greatly hinders and slows me down, this is one of the few things that will actually agitate me in the game. Alright, we'll back out to here. Hopefully it'll spawn some new people, but it doesn't look it. If they are, they're going to be... Oh, no. It's not going to have anybody else there. And the red circle is bouncing back and forth. Rhino was my go-to frame for the longest time. Anyone that's new to the game, I will always tell them the first thing we're going to do is farm for Rhino. To me, he is the best warframe to use to get accustomed to the game with. You don't have to worry about damage or anything. You can get used to the mechanics of the game. He is a heavy favorite for a lot of people, but he is the best starter frame you could have in the game for sure. Just because of his durability. Let's go down to our random. Alright, and... Nope, nope, yep, come on. There we go. Equinox. Ignis. Don't need you. Well, actually, Rhino this is technically Rhino Prime. Now you've used him enough. This is something that I was unaware of for the longest time until my clan leader pointed this out to me. When it comes to Rhino, when you cast Iron Skin, what makes that ferrite armor is not just your ability strength, but also Rhino's armor. It'll bump that up even higher. On top of that, for the first 3 seconds that Rhino puts that skin on, the time that he's invulnerable, for that period of time, all the damage you take in makes your armor even higher. So you want to cast it right when you're in the middle of getting shot straight to hell. And that's only going to bump him up and make him even stronger. It's the best advice I can ever give anybody. Make sure that he's got not true steel. Crap. I know for one of them, I don't have.
Suits you.
Yeah.
Ha ha.
I don't keep it on him because his build is primarily used for different things and going through for a tank. There's tankier weapons than him. Steel fiber. Make sure you have steel fiber on, because that's going to bump up his armor, which is also going to bump up his ability to cast a higher iron skin. This build that I have set up is basically to add support for Eidolon fights. And technically steel charge should be taken off. I don't know why I switched that up. What? Oh, because the word armor is up. Technically Deadeye should be in there. It's to give whoever is going to be popping the joints. If it's not Rhino himself, depending if I'm doing it with the clan, I tend to do the lures. Just because I can keep a better eye on that and drop the shields faster. It's just to give them a bump in damage. So, to hell with range. When I stand next to them, pop the ability, it lasts for, I want to say over a minute with this build. Yeah, a minute and 10 seconds. A minute and 17 seconds. But it gives them an extra 102%. If they're using Chroma on top of that, then they should be one-shotting, if not two-shotting, any of the joints out. But we're going to go with what the stream was originally intended to be. Let's see if we can get a piece of the Xiphos orbiter ship. Venus Ishtar. Ash is a surprisingly good frame. He isn't one that like survivals and whatnot are going in way deep. He's not the frame of choice. To me, he's a fun frame to have when you want to just literally run around and just totally stealth kill enemies on whatever board you might be. Like if you're just looking to kill time, like to me he's great. Aside from that, he is good with heavily armored enemies. If you have his augment for his first ability, it will lower enemy armor, making them more vulnerable for everybody else. The fact that he can cause bleed on everybody very easily is another huge... Oh crap, did I? Yep, nope, we're backing out. Waste of a energy pad, but I actually have the wrong build. I need a very specific build with Equinox to farm. Basically, I have to find the 3 caches on here to get a piece of Xiphos. Oh, what did I get? Oh, my field drone. To get a piece of Xiphos, I need to do very specific sabotages for the main reason of having...
Your chosen warframe suits you. Ha ha.
I'm waiting for orders to stop talking. Main reason being is you have to collect the 3 caches that are hidden on the map. And you have to have all 3. When you do, you get a 0.5% chance for a piece of Xiphos. 0.5%. That's the chance you get. I have run this first board. I have yet to get a single piece, but I have run this board of Ishtar and Venus. I couldn't tell you how many times, and I have yet to get a piece of Xiphos. 0.5%. It's to the point now where I've done this probably damn near 100 times. I've yet to get it. Main reason why I use Equinox is his 4th ability. it will blanket and bleed out all the corpus that are here. But aside from that, it stores all the damage for main. So when I unleash it, it breaks all the breakables. Anything that's not a resource or whatnot, anything that doesn't break, I know is going to end up being one of the caches. If not, it'll be a Iatan sculpture, which is always nice and welcome. I don't have to scan that because I know I have it because I've been here a multitude of times. Downside, it will bust out the windows. So you do have to keep that in mind. And as of late, for some damn reason, whenever the windows do bust out, that deafening sound stays in my headset. Why that is, I'm not sure, but it is highly annoying. Yep. And apparently I was close enough to it. So hopefully it doesn't glitch. Alright, I hear it. So we have one directly above me. See, now that deep bass kind of... that sound's going to be with me now for the rest of the map.
You found the first resource cache. I'm detecting 2 more faint hints.
Let's see here. Sounds like farming invincible on ashes in World of Warcraft. Man, I haven't played World of Warcraft and I couldn't tell you how long. And there's our second one. And while I'm here, might as well gather some energy. Although
readings indicate 1 more.
Equinox doesn't really drain a whole lot of energy. Oh. I know you're just going to be a collectible. You are not going to be anything, but you might be a sculpture. And nothing's going to be up there. I run Loot Detector and Thief's Wit together. That's why I can see all the breakables from so far away. Keep in mind, this only works horizontally. It's not going to show me too far above or below. The ability will work in a spherical shape, but unfortunately Loot Detector and being able to see everything on the board, that won't. So if something is higher in elevation, you will have to get into these big rooms, bullet jump and take a peek to see if anything is potentially higher than you are. Who's it gonna be?
Going into stasis. Now is your chance to complete this sabotage. Use whatever you can to make sure it never works again. Coolant cell extracted. Fuel cell reinserted. When the reactor is restarted, this will trigger a meltdown. Just fuel injectors. Blast door has blocked your evacuation route.
Alright, so we still have one more. Keep in mind when you're in this room. Oh, where are you? When you're in this room, behind this is a little vent going down. Always checking here. You never know when. I would have already popped up, but behind either one of these could be one of the caches or a Iatan sculpture. Interesting. Oh, and here's a another room just like it. And there's actually stuff down here, but I'm assuming, yeah, just collectible alloy plates, credits, polymer. Just want to make sure that door doesn't actually open now. Okay, so I would assume this is the door that's going to unlock when I hack. Yeah, it's yellow. And here's the third one.
You found
Interesting.
all the caches.
Another thing to keep in mind, when you're in this room with these two
Get
platforms,
to extraction.
look up. There's a whole other area up here. The caches could be hiding up here as well as Niatan. This is always going to have 4 breakables over here. Anytime there's an Niatan sculpture or a cache to open up, it's going to be right over here in the corner. Yep. Everybody can die. And I always check just because it blocks it out on the map. You might not be able to see it. Every now and then I found an Iatan just hiding underneath or inside those. So let's see. Fingers crossed. Xiphos, come on. Endo credits and an alloy plate. And we are jumping right back in. I think I might run this 2 more times. And might call it a night. It's 2:30 in the morning here. Take a little bit of a nap before a little bit of work tomorrow. Want to make sure all my paperwork and everything gets done before
I need you to sabotage the
Thanksgiving
ship's
gets off.
The reactor is a complex system. Start by removing the coolant cells. My intel
Ember, is
suggests
there
that
a
each enemy
warframe that
caches in the
interests
area,
you in
but
getting?
I'm unable
One that
to
has
pinpoint
your
their exact
attention or
location.
eye of somebody you
Search
would
them
want to
out if
use?
you are willing to shoulder the added risk.
Oh. What the hell? Oh, I hear you. You gotta be up here. Hi there. That's our first one.
You found the
There
first
are
resource
plenty of
cache.
times where
I'm detecting 2 more faint
one of
hints.
them might be hiding up where that waypoint is. So giving yourself, like I said, big room, bullet jump to see if there's anything hiding up there. If not, then you don't really have much to worry about. Let's reset this alarm just so we don't get locked out and slowed up. Alright. Nothing that way. We got some stuff over here though. Oh, I hear another one.
You found a second cache. My readings indicate one more.
Both great frames. Saren is great with crowd control, especially with enemies with armor. Her first ability is pure corrosive damage, so it will... Oh wow, all three of them in very close proximity. It's pure corrosive damage. I'll jump in the simulacrum just so you can get a really good idea, and I'll give you a quick rundown of the two. Chroma is a heavy favorite of mine. He is another Warframe that potentially could be a game ender for a lot of people. Someone that you can take deep in there. His ability to survive and dish out such a high amount of damage is incredible. Damn. Oh, that was ballsy and it paid off. Alright, so we have all three caches. At this point, we're hoping for a sculpture to pop up somewhere. The great thing about Equinox's fourth ability and Embers, they target security cameras too. So it'll get them out of the way for you, no problem. It counts as an enemy being killed, so it will go towards Equinox's count for the damage stored up from main.
Fuel cell reinserted. When the reactor is restarted, this will trigger a meltdown.
The downside with both Chroma and Saren, they are high glitched enemies that are just gonna stay there even though they're dead. Saren's pieces drop from Kayla the Thane. You need to earn quite a number of judgment points to get that. Chroma requires a piece of Kayla as well. The rest of the pieces of Chroma, no problem. I used to remember them off the top of my head. I know you need a piece of Frost, Volt, and Ember. I'm just not remembering the specifics of it. Oh, unbreakables don't break. It gets my hopes up falsely. There's usually some down here, but there are none.
Your sabotage is complete. Get to extraction.
Where the hell is that mod? Nope, nothing down here. sculpture. Come on, Xiphos. Endo and credits. Damn. Hello and welcome to everybody in the stream. Appreciate everyone stopping by. If you like any part of this stream, if you hate any part of this stream, if you like seeing me do well, if you like seeing me die, by all means, give me that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I will do my best to succeed and or die to your pleasure. Alright, so let's... Here, we'll go to the new one. Ember, I'll give you a quick peek at the prime points of Saren and Chroma. Again, two of my favorite frames. They're great, great frames. They are a pain in the ass to get. The primes aren't that bad. I actually have quite a number of Chroma's relics, so if you ever want to grind out for them, just let me know. So this is the Simulacrum, and basically this is a place to test your metal against the enemies to see what everything can do. We'll start off with the Princess of Poison. Hey, she might want some energy. She does have the highest energy pool out of everybody. Her first ability alone, these are level 140 Corrupted Heavy Gunners. Casting the first ability 3 times is the most you can cast on them. After that, it won't matter. It already ate all of its armor. Its armor is gone completely. The third ability makes all your weapons have toxic damage and twice that amount if it's a melee weapon. So now when I hit those spores on this, everyone's now infected. Your infected counter is going to be going up on the bottom screen there. The higher that goes up, the more damage is being done to everybody. Now, when you cast, it will dip into that pool. But the more everyone's infected, the faster it's going to be going up anyways. But here's the thing. No one has armor anymore. They're all going to be dying off on their own now. But 140 or not, once their armor is gone for any one of these corrupted classes, it doesn't matter what happens to them. They're just going to wither away and die. To me, it's borderline broken. Aside from that, second ability, you leave a clone of yourself back. It'll cause slight toxic damage to everyone around you. But it gives you a speed increase for a certain period of time. Now, if I were to cast this again and spread it, now everyone's got it. They are also now far more susceptible to the fourth ability, which is now putting viral on them as well. This is just going to be continuous damage. Anyone that has those pox on them are even more susceptible to it. And all this is going to do is just continuously just eat through their vitality. Just non-stop going. Again, all weapons get extra toxic. My Archiplasmor is now doing heavier toxic damage, plus the radiation, I want to say fire, that it normally does. These are level 140s that Saren is just, without an overly complicated build, is just ripping right through. Her build is anything but regular to me. Nothing over the top. Range is high just so I can reach and infect everybody. Also, when those spores pop, I want them to be able to reach further out. Strength is average. Efficiency and duration, average. And even with that average build, that third ability still lasts for a minute. But that spread radius is 36 meters. So anyone that's within 36 meters of somebody with those spores on them and you hit them, it's just spreading. And that isn't indicative of any walls or anything being near them. It'll go right through it, no problem whatsoever. Aside from that, Chroma. Everyone knows that with Chroma, whatever his energy color is the type of damage he does. That being said, Elemental Ward is the main one that you have to pay attention to. With Elemental Ward, when it's heat, you get a bump in health, and everything around you gets lit on fire. And allies that are near you, they get a bump in health as well. When it is poison, you get protection from any other status effects hitting you, and everyone around you gets toxic damage. Cold, which is what I use mostly, bumps up your armor, so your vitality takes less health, and that's going to work with your Vex armor on top of that. Because basically what people want to do when they're using Chroma, and I actually have to take invincibility off for this to work. We'll spawn in some new people. You have the Rubico. So we'll do one shot with the Rubico. 6,000 was the number that popped up. So what you're doing with Chroma is you want to have a weapon that'll cause damage to yourself. Oh, it might help if I cast the ability. You cast your Vex armor. Any damage to your shields will bump up your armor. Damage to vitality will bump up the damage you can do. Now, right now, I'm maxed out. So the first number is Fury, and that is going to be your damage. So Chroma is getting an extra 767% damage. He's getting an extra 967% or 76% armor. So he's going to be lasting longer. So his vitality is just going to stay just the way it is. So now we're doing 20,000 from that 6,000. We're just, and on top of that, it's the Rubico is just going to be building up that critical damage anyways. But this is why a lot of people like Chroma for Eidolon hunts, because he can give himself that extra bit of damage. But you do have to watch out for one thing. The ability does dissipate. So you would have to go back, cast it again, re-damage yourself. Doing that is a huge pain in the ass. Here's the great thing about Vex armor. You can recast it at any time. You'll keep your stats. That is huge. Probably one of the things that makes him almost unfair is the fact that, you know, you can take these shots, you can do your Eidolon battle, and as you're dropping his shields, this ability will stay on Chroma. Every now and then, you just have to pay attention and just go, alright, it's been about a minute. Let me go back to Chroma. Oh, we'll refresh. Now we got a full minute again. Go back to doing what we were doing before. Chroma is a son of a bitch, really. And even better than that, that damage does carry over to his effigy. So all that bumped up damage he's going to be doing now when there are enemies near and around him. So if I were to take him down and bring him out here, his pelt is going to start yelling at them, screaming at them, getting them going. You can run around here, he can guard an area and whatnot. You're looking at your damage and you're like, alright, crap, let me recast Vex Armor. Vex Armor is going to stay going. It's draining a good amount of energy. You're killing other enemies. Pop some more energy. Good to go. And he's going to be over here just still casting damage. Now, because these are high, very high level enemies with armor, he's only going to be able to do so much damage to them anyways. If these were the infested, that'd be a different story. We'll recast it. We can kill them off. Let's pop in. Nope, 8 healers. They have no armor. Granted, fire would be the best one to put on for the infested, but then he does that. Now, it looks like they disappeared, but what actually happened was they just got shot to hell. Like, just off the map. His first ability, because they have no... He do it again? God damn it. Normally, his first ability will just scare them, or terrify them, paralyze them in fear. It's Scream that he does. There it is. So now he'll do that. He's going to slow them down. He's going to be doing cold damage directly. Now I could join in that and breathe my own breath of icy cold on them, but cold isn't going to do too much to the infested. But he's good for almost like leaving behind as a turret. You can call your pelt back at any point you want. This, by the way, is not his normal skin. It's the Dynasty skin. Let's get rid of these infested real quick. We'll kill them the old-fashioned way. Any other frames you're curious about, Ember, while I'm here? I'll give you a quick rundown of everything they do. Name a frame, I got them. Revenant is the other overpowered warframe that needs to, not needs to, but will more than likely end up getting nerfed at some point. He's got to. It's ridiculous what he can do. Let's, we'll get 2 of you guys. Get 2 of you guys. Ah, damn it. And I always do that. I always forget to hit simulate to actually start that damn thing up. The thing with Revenant is he is far too adaptable. His 4th ability changes the damage it does based off of who it's attacking. So it doesn't matter who he's attacking, he is doing damage to them. Now the only ones that get slowed up are going to be anyone with heavy armor to them. You cast your 4th ability and you're twirling around here. That beam is doing different damage to each of them based off of what they're weak against. If I were to hold down R2, which is the trigger, he does even more damage. The only reason why those heavy gunners were last was just the fact of the sheer amount of armor they have. Oh, that's right, it's not directional so it won't go up in the air. He's great. He's going to clear a room. The more damage he takes, the higher that number is as well. Trying to think if I actually want to... Yeah, we'll unpause it. I'm not sure how well he's going to... Oh, Jesus, they're attacking each other. They're not even paying attention to me right now. I forgot that they act like this is almost like an invasion and they start attacking each other. Okay, so Octavia's whole setup is this. She is not the kind of person that can take abuse. So you do have to pay attention to the fact of she can't be in the forefront. But her abilities are going to draw the attention of all the enemies. So let me explain the build a little bit more. Her mallet, the damage multiplier is 5.1. Basically, any damage that's done to it just increases how deadly it is. Whatever the enemies shoot at it, they get back 5.1 times back at them. If they're shooting and doing 10 points of damage, they're getting 50 damage back at them. Well, technically did 50.5. So it's broken to me. It's scaling with the enemies. Doesn't matter how strong the enemies are. They're going to attack Mallet. They cannot stop it or destroy it. And Mallet is going to give them back 5 times the damage they give it. You use that with the fourth ability here, Amp. It doubles the damage and range of Mallet. So now that 5.1 is 10.2. So it doesn't matter how strong the enemy is. We're going to get rid of all of them. We're going to pop them in, since it's going to be an unfair start, because they're going to shoot at me from the platform. I will put invincibility on for the time being. Or better yet, her third ability. As those waves come to her, if you start tapping crouch and match the rhythm, you'll turn invisible. So now you're invisible. That's how you want to stay during that entire battle. And while you're within range of Octavia's abilities, you gain energy. Now you throw out her ability, they're attacking it, and they're just taking damage. As long as they are within the range, and anything is shooting or attacking, anything within that range is going to take the damage. Now, aside from that, you also want to make sure that you have something that, like, right now the aura mod that I have on is corrosive projection. It's lowering their armor by 30%. You're going to want someone that also has... I'm going to stop that real quick. My secondary weapon is the pox that I keep on. And basically, what that's going to do, the pox are built to have corrosive damage. So basically what I'm doing right now is just ripping apart all of their armor. None of them are going to have armor. Anyone that's within that cloud that's getting hit with it Eventually that gold is going to turn to red. And now it's all just vitality. So if you were to couple that, now no one's attacking this thing, so it's not going to happen. But once their armor is gone, it's over for them. None of them is going to be able to keep up with that. So let's kill them off. Let's pop them in. We'll unpause the AI. The second any one of the pox hits them, it's already going to be game over for them. They're already in the cloud. The second they come a little bit closer, that's it. They're just taking in all that damage. The ability never stops. You stand here, and right now I'm tapping L2 or L1, and you can see in the top right corner, the very first number is my nocturne. That's what's keeping me invisible. All you do is just recast the abilities and just keep rinse and repeat basically, and you're just gonna stay invisible the entire time. This is why it's a boring build, because you're literally just, alright, you're gonna cast out the first ability, cast out the fourth ability, hit your third and stay invisible, and the entire time you're just tapping L1. You'll have other people with you that can stay invisible, somebody like Ash or Loki that can literally just stay invisible and hit everybody with corrosive damage. You stay around me and everyone can get invisible as well. And that's basically it. You're just repeating this over and over again without any worries. It doesn't matter how strong the enemies get. They get up to, the highest I've seen that I've come across is somewhere around 600. But because of this setup, their armor gets ripped to shreds. And then they just start shooting at the mallet, and the mallet just gives them the damage right back. You put them in an area that's more confined than what we're using here, and they can't even get away from the damage. They're just stuck and surrounded by it. The only downside to it is the damage is quote-unquote line of sight. Meaning that if the mallet is... Can I throw that far enough? Yeah. Right now, between me and the mallet is this pillar. If the mallet could reach around it, or reach through it, this pillar would stop that damage from happening. Curious if this would do it or not. Yeah, alright. So now I'm within the ring. But because this pillar's in the way, the damage won't happen. So you want to get almost like a narrow corridor that's relatively long that you can kind of camp out. And there's a room that's probably as long as from this side of the board to that side of the board. That has a little spot that comes this far out, but it's basically a corridor as wide as here. But then it just opens up right here to this little nook. And you can stay here and you can throw out your abilities. And they're going to keep coming towards it, trying to shoot it. And they're stuck in this room and you're just destroying them. And the whole time that's happening, they're just dropping life support. And you're good to go. It's... Octavia, while she's incredibly weak, is the end game for stretching out Warframe and going the distance. There's a video, and you know what? This is the guy that I got the idea from. He is someone that I have talked to for some time. See if I can get his link up real quick. I'll put a link in the chat. I want to say this is the video. Of course, there's a commercial, but this will give you an idea of what it's. Yep, here's Rio. Okay. So when you get a chance, check out that link. Open it up in a new tab, otherwise you'll close me out here. But click on that link, add it in, save it to your watch later. You'll be able to see exactly what Octavia would do at that rank. Now, granted, they ran with 2 Octavia, so they're doubling the efficiency of it, but it's also able to cover a larger area. But there's no end to Octavia's limits, just because her first ability will scale with enemies. The only thing you have to do is just survive. So casting her third ability and keeping yourself invisible is the only thing that you have to maintain. And once you get yourself invisible, maintaining Nocturne is not hard at all. It's that's it. Like I said, it's a very boring thing, but when you're going that far into a survival, you are able to you're looking to get those relics. So you're able to farm that. The further in the survival you go, the rarer the relics are, quote unquote, generally speaking. Once you reach a certain point, you're it's just this is a fair lottery across the board for the most part. But that's the best way to get the rare relics that are coming up, or that have just come out. Mott and Annie are the 2 places right now that have all the new relics that came out for Nova and Mag, as well as the weapons. Once I get back to the ship, I'll show you the specific relics. I need to start farming that myself anyways. I usually do it for 2 or 3 hours at a clip. Just because it gets very repetitive and almost puts me asleep sometimes doing it. Let's see here. What? Why did you not? Yeah. I'm not sure it went that high. You sure it wasn't like 537? I know it's kind of hard to see because the numbers are scrolling through. I didn't think they got that high at the 8-hour mark, but they might have upscaled it. A hard upscale. I'm a little thrown off that. It's weird, it didn't pop up before. So these are the 4 new relics that are in Mon Annie right now. They're each going to have a piece of the Boar Prime, the Darka Prime, Mag, and Nova, and the Soma. So basically you're looking just to farm. I mean, the great thing about it is it tells you where. Annie, Mott, Relic Packs, or the Syndicate, also Cetus bounties. But Annie and Mott are the 2 common ones, and you can grind them out pretty far. This one will have Mott.
You don't need to thank me.
This one has Annie. And this one has Annie. Wow. I didn't pay attention to it scaling that high up at that point. Oh, yeah. Wow. 5,300? Yeah, it's having Octavia's abilities bumped up that high, being able to strip their armor and have weapons that can do the same thing. It's it's another reason that Octavia's OP and so undercredited for it. Her first ability just rips everyone apart, and the more damage, and I mean like it's never going to change the ratio of how high the enemy is, the damage they're doing to the damage they're getting. They're all going to die at the same rate. The only thing that's going to change is being able to strip their armor away from them. If you can have 3 people running corrosive projection, 90% of their armor is already gone. So the best thing to do, from what I've gathered, is having 3 people running corrosive projection and then 1 person running enemy radar so you can keep an eye on where they are. To me, I'd rather have energy siphon going just so you can keep that energy moving. Granted, Octavia's abilities, as long as you're within them, will slowly recharge your energy. Having that going as well is just one less thing to worry about. Oh, also, there's a new weapon that has been added in. The Xiphos. So there's one specific relic that you can get at Mott or in the Cetus bounties, as well as the relic pack or the syndicate packs. And this has just the blueprints for the Vasto Prime, which is coming back out, or has come back out. The Akvasto is brand new. This is the first time they introduced it. So this is another relic that needs to be farmed as well. So to me, over the course of the next week, I'm going to be doing deeper runs in Mott and Annie just so I can get these, as well as turning in and just, let's see.
Continues to fall into chaos. Check
Oh,
navigation
well,
for...
we can do it right now, actually.
These may help the flow.
Let's see what we can get here. Graham Prime, Zephyr, Akboto. So we got the Rubico Graham, so we got some of the ones from the Chroma release. Same thing from the Chroma release. Old school plus the Chroma release. Oh, I need that Sylvan Aegis Prime Guard. I still gotta complete that. I've been trying to get that for some time. Oh, here's one of the new ones, the Lith M2. So we got one of them now. Another Neo S7. So not a bad pull from there. Well, let's jump into Steel Meridian and do the same thing real quick.
Here's what we can do for you. Alright.
We got one of the Axie A5s. That's a good one. So we're going to be cracking that open sometime soon. So we only pulled 2 of the new relics out of the 9 packs we just opened up. Not horrible, but definitely wanted to get more, just that. It's just going to be more of the grind for the week. I don't think I have anything else of pressing matter to do right now. I probably should let everybody get a bump in. Yep. Alright, so let's go to Maru. Let's turn in our sculptures. And I think after that, we are 3 o'clock, 3:15 Yeah, we'll call it a night after that.
Baru's Bazaar. You've come to the right place.
Didn't select the stars. I got everybody. 40,000 endo. We will take it.
Wow, Tenno, I'm impressed. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen such a complete collection of Ayatan treasures.
I'm glad you approve, Mara. I also failed to mention, I should probably, there's one other Warframe that to me I've grown rather partial to just because of her potential. And that's Mesa. She's another one that has a potential of being an end game kind of a frame, but unfortunately it's too depictive of her ability. So she's like shock and awe. She's awesome in small bursts. But once you get to those higher level enemies, she's not going to make it nearly as far as Octavia can. But properly modded, as far as sorties go and assassinations, Mesa is ridiculous. As long as the assassination isn't someone like Krill, who has a very specific target on his back that needs to be hit. You can't aim her ability. It automatically focuses on their torso for the most part. So the great thing about Mesa is her second ability will increase her damage and fire rate. Her third ability will prevent 95% damage the way she is. And her fourth ability breaks out her regulators. Now I have her augment mod on that allows her to walk while she's in it. But basically all you have to do is hold down R2 and she'll lock on to everyone that's within this circle that's glowing around the screen and just start ripping into them. The circle will get smaller and then you have to focus it in, but she's going to end up just ripping right through them. I mean, you get a group of just level 100s in there, and I mean, that's all you really have to worry about when it comes to the sorties, is you're going to have level 100 enemies in there. And these level 100s are even faster to get out of the way. So if you're going through any one of the sorties and you have, especially ones that are weapon specific, if you have something that says bows only or secondary only, bring Mesa. She will literally just start ripping right through people like that, no problem. Her build is incredibly straight to the point. This is her augment that allows her to move. Normally, you're standing in one spot and you cannot move. This allows you to move at least 50% speed. Flow and continuity in there for duration. And strength, I figure 180 is high enough. The big thing is having pistol lamp in there because her fourth ability is a secondary weapon. Having co-action drift with that's an extra 30% thrown on top of her. Aura strength is how much that affects you. Aura effectiveness is how it affects everybody else. So you get, well, effectiveness also affects you as well. So you get 30% extra. The rest of your team is going to get an extra 15%. So this 27% damage is around 34 25% damage, give or take. But with that build, her Peacemakers are getting an extra 2.7 times multiplier. Added in with a shooting gallery, another 45%. So those are going to be added into what her regulators can do. Very simple, straightforward build that would apply to most critical based weapons. Prime Target, Cracker, and Gambit for critical chance and damage. Hornet Strike for pure damage. Convulsion and Pathogen have those two on for strictly status. You can put the status mods in there. But to me, I know it's only 25%, but at the rate that she fires, along with Lethal Turret and Barrel Diffusion, the rate that she fires at 25% is more than enough of what you need. Because Barrel Diffusion, you already have a guaranteed second bullet coming out. With that extra 20% plus this, you have an 80% chance of a third bullet. That's all you really need. So by the time you fire 4 bullets, technically you have a chance of having it being 12 bullets, and a 25% chance of any one of those triggering corrosive damage. So your odds of having that happen are as high as possible. You might as well make this damage as high as you can. Lethal Torrent, obviously, for the increased fire rate. Hollow Point for more critical damage. I do have another build for it that is gas. Just in case it's a sortie that is going to be against a Corpus or any one of their assassinations. If it's the Hyena Pack or Zanuka, this does come in handy. It's a higher damage just because I have primed heated charge in there, but it's basically the exact same setup with the difference of convulsion and heated charge. I do have a third build I was kind of toying around with, which is just increased fire rate, but it doesn't have anything specific other than impact, puncture, and slash. So I just toyed around with it. It's not anything that I ever use. Corrosive seems to work across the board on all factions. It doesn't really get slowed down by any one of them. If I were to do the same thing that I did for Revenant, if I were to put just a pairing of... Actually, you know what, let's... If I were to put all of them there and leave them at 140... Still simulate it. Corrosive or not, regardless of the fact of the infested and the Corpus, doesn't make a lick of difference. They're the first ones to drop before her abilities really kick in. It's always going to be those corrupted heavy gunners are going to be last because they have so much damn armor to them. But that corrosive does just start ripping right through it, along with the rapid fire. I mean, the amount of times they're getting hit. I wish there was a counter to keep track of how many bullets just hit in a certain amount of time. That would be interesting to watch. The only other person that I kind of have a thing for, Titania. A similar build on her pistols, where it's heavy on viral and slash. It's not going to be critical. I do have a crit build that I was starting to work with her. Not a fan of it. The viral and the slash is huge. And it doesn't even matter what the enemy is. Going with her 4th ability. Her augment for her 4th ability, Razor Wing Blitz. Every time you cast an ability, you're increasing fire rate and flight speed. They literally, from a slash and the viral, they just bleed out. And they bleed out so quick. I mean, it's only a few shots that you're really giving them. And these guys, I mean, these guys are 3-hit wonders with it, but I mean, those are all level 1-4. I mean, the heavy gunners, again, are the big pain in the asses that are in the way. But I mean, and my one buddy is just like, oh, that's all fine and great, but what happens when they move? And I'm like, well, we can have them move. All that means is you have to be able to be nimble enough in the air. Downside is, I always forget this, they're all attacking each other right now. But it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be the one. I mean, all those numbers that are popping up are everything from me right now. I mean, yeah, they might move, but they're going to be focused on other things going on. Plus, when you're shrunken down, you have your razor wings getting in their face, so it stops them enough that you can get in there and do plenty of damage. So Titania is the other person that really, in regular missions, she's insane. You bring her out to the plains, she's ripping everything to shreds. The only thing you would want to do is, instead of having a viral build, you would want to build a second one based off of corrosives. That way you can deal with all those incoming dropships that are going to be dropping people off. They have a heavy amount of armor, so if you can get slashed along with that corrosive, you're going to rip right through them. So basically all you're looking to do is just switch out Frostbite for either Convulsion here, which would fit, and get corrosive. But again, with that firing rate, you don't really have to worry about it, but I have Frostbite in there just for the fuck of it. I mean, it's doing enough damage as it is. I mean, granted, I could put Deep Freeze in instead, but I mean, I'm looking at the fact of that's not a massive difference. So fuck it, I might as well just make sure everything is just slash and viral, just flying right in. In Titania, you get her basically for completing a quest. You'll get her pieces and whatnot, and then you can just start building her. Her quest is a drawn-out pain in the ass. It's Silver Grove, and the main part of that thing is what about Arcwing stuff? Here, I'll go back to my orbiter for that. Unfortunately, there's no place to really test Arcwing, even though they should. I wouldn't mind if they actually had the ability to test Eidolons in here. As far as Arcwing goes, it depends on what you're doing. Me, personally, I like the Elytron. It is my favorite one. It's highly offensive. You get a good amount of shields and health from it. The first ability, you basically just, wherever your reticle is, you point, it will go specifically to that spot that you were just looking at. At any point, you can pop the ability again and explode that little charge. The second ability, you basically leave a cloud of dust behind you, or you're basically like, it says you're venting out your propulsion core. Basically, you're just leaving out this massive cloud of, like, trail of dust behind you for a certain amount of time. I do have an augment on there that basically, if you shoot it, you ignite it, and it's now just causing massive damage to anyone going through it. Thumper, basically, it's a giant orb area that you shoot out, and anything in there is just getting hit by these bolts coming into it. And Warhead is just that. You're literally launching a nuke at them. It does a massive amount of damage. It has a huge range, 240 meters. The cool thing about Warhead is the Warhead will travel wherever you're looking, and if you start looking somewhere else, it'll then travel to that spot. So it's homing in on where you're looking, which can be a pain in the ass if you're aiming to specific people, but if you're
Error.
near
Half an hour.
structures and enemies are
Did
coming
the
near you,
operator enjoy this witticism?
just point it at the wall and you literally just ignite the hell out of it. Aside from that, the Grattler, probably the best weapon, tied with the Fluctus to a lot of people, but this guy lays in the damage. Obviously, it's heavy in puncture, the fire rate that it has, and it does have explosive rounds innately to it. The only thing I would do differently for myself, I'd probably put Form in it just so I can get the mutations up high. I'm sorry, modify munitions up higher. And that's basically it. There's such a limited amount of mods for Arcwing that you can only do so much. You're only spending so much time in there, and luckily they haven't given us anything that's too crazy. The only thing personally I might change other than that is I'm curious about Shell Rush. But I mean, like, adding in, I mean, I don't have to worry about impact. Puncture's already in there. I mean, the only other thing would be like Venomous or Polar, just to get another type of damage in there. But I find that with this build, I'm able to get through it just fine. Venomous might actually work if you're doing the Golem assassination, just because it'll eat through his life a little bit faster. But it's not going to be a massive difference. As far as melees go, I just built this not too long ago, and this one's actually working out pretty good, but your standard melee works so well and handles so well that, to me, it's not even fully modded, but it does so much so much damage. Oh yeah, I guess I mean, like, again, these are stuff that I haven't really dug too far into just because they're not used all that much, so I really haven't put too much time and energy in it. But there hasn't been an Arcwing mission that I have come across that I haven't been able to handle with just your starter frame, which is Yondata. Granted, it's Yondata Prime. And I have the Amnesia and the Eidolon. They're unranked, and I haven't even started yet. The Itzel I know is good for the planes that people like, because after you go against the Eidolon with all the cores, its one ability is actually a vacuum. It'll pull all the collectibles in one spot, which is huge. As far as mods go for the Electron,
Armaments, operator. Please return
nothing
covered in blood.
too crazy. Granted, I could put in some Forma and get my health and my armor up, but I mean, my health is already at 1600, so bumping this up, not too much of a priority. I don't die with this Arcwing, but this will just make it even more OP. If anything, just getting my armor up will just have my health drain even slower. This is just ability strength, prime morphic transmorpher.
Limited mission alert available. Check
Other than
navigation.
that, it's just ability efficiency, so it's not too bad. This is the augment mod, so that all the fumes get ignited, and it does a good amount of damage in there. This is just shield recharge. My basically flow for the warframes is just for your energy. Other than that, there's nothing too crazy. There's nothing else that I would really put in or switch out. It's a comfortable build, and again, it gets the job done. There isn't a time that I have gone against anything in this game using this build that I have now where I've struggled in the slightest. The Golem assassination is the closest thing that I could possibly say struggle, just because he has such a high hit point that it just takes time to take him down, but at no point am I in danger of being downed. Actually, let's get Titania off and switch back to... Actually, you know what? Probably better off if I go... This should still be Equinox? No, I was showing stuff, so it's gonna be... Yeah. Just so I'm good to go and ready for the next time I'm on. If anything, the one thing I do want to do with Equinox, pop in a Forma. Probably use it for fleeting expertise. Drop that down just so I can get... Where are you? Oh, there you are. Speed drift in. Have him be a little more versatile, but also have him cast his abilities a little bit faster, just to make that grind of Ishtar go a little bit faster. All these drift mods, by the way, you get from the puzzle rooms on Lua. Any one of the drift mods. Speed, power, stealth, endurance, cunning, coaction, all the drift mods you will get from the puzzles in there. And there's specific puzzles for specific mods. Coaction drift, you will need a second person with you. You can't do it on your own, hence coaction. You need 2 people with you. Or 1 person with you. 2 people have to go together. Basically, the puzzle is a series of pedestals you have to stand on. You can get to a certain point by yourself, but to get the mod itself, you will need a second person. Because there's 4 pedestals for you to stand on, and you can each leave your warframe on one, and then pop out as your operator and each stand on the other 2 to open up the portal to jump through so you can get the mod. Although I do want to say that if, honestly, push comes to shove, I'm more than positive I have duplicates of them. I do think there's one mod that I don't have. Let's see. Plenty of coaction drifts, and some of them have been leveled along the way so I can have extra. So coaction, drift. So coaction, cunning. Nope, drifting doesn't count. Drifting contact. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing 2. I don't have endurance. Pretty sure there was 7. I'll have to look it up. Which one am I missing?
Your
But
collection
yeah,
of mods is
that's the only
impressive,
thing I would change about
but I wonder if
Equinox.
there are more to be had.
Curious if... Well, you're done. Build another. Oh, I have to get the rest of the Imperium. There is a... since you're talking about Arcwing, there is a Vandal version of the Impenetrator. You get these pieces from completing the event that's going on right now, the Fomorian event. It's random. You don't have to worry about how many points you're getting. You need the 1,000,000 to get the 200,000 credits plus the Orokin Catalyst. But just completing it in any shape or form, you'll get a piece of the Impenetrator, whether it's the blueprint, the barrel, or the receiver. All I need left is the receiver. If it wasn't almost 3:40 in the morning, I would give it a run now, but starting to get a little tired. Definitely got to take a nap in. I've been up for damn near 48 hours at this point. Want to get some rest in. Work in the morning. Well, have work to do in the morning. Paperwork and whatnot for the office, and then I'll more than likely get back on here tomorrow. So we're gonna call time on the stream for right now. Ember, appreciate you stopping by in the conversation. If you have any other questions, again, my PlayStation handle is the same thing as my name here on YouTube, V1I7P2E3R. Easiest way to remember it, Viper with 17 and 23 in between the letters. You're more than welcome to shoot me a friend request on PlayStation there. We'll hook up. We'll go through the game. Any questions you might have or whatnot, we'll get through there. If there's specific mods that you need, if I have an abundance of them, which I tend to, let me know. We can get some traded in for you so you can get that squared away. As always, everyone that's watching now, hit me up with that like button if you liked any part of this stream, whether it's me doing good, me doing bad, me getting shot in the face or blown straight to hell. If you had fun, I definitely had fun. Also, hit that subscribe button, show the love, spread the word. I'm trying to rebuild my station ever since it unfortunately got locked out and hacked on me. Lost all my subscribers, lost all my videos, except for probably like 1 or 2 of them for some reason. So definitely show the love. But I stream every day, or trying to at this point at least. Try to get in at least a solid 4 to 6 hours, sometimes 8, depending on the game. Hopefully tomorrow it'll actually be Ghost Recon Wildlands Ghost Wars. It's a 4v4 PvP. Me and my buddies will be on there. Actually, it might only be 3 of us with a random. One of my buddies is on vacation with the missus in Mexico right now. Hopefully bring me back a bottle of tequila. But again, if you enjoyed any part of the show, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Have yourself a good night. Hope you had a good weekend, and I will catch you guys next time. This is Viper signing out.